most talked about topics in the world today, but many people avoid talking about it. This is a mistake. Talking about money is a great way to understand it better. It helps to have a grip on the subject. You can talk about what you spend your money on, the difference between your income and your expenses, or you can talk about the value of your bank account. For example, I spend most of my money on groceries. I have $100 in my bank account. Sounds funny, right? Welcome to SME-Hype, where I am talking about making money online, growing your business, and gaining financial freedom. This video is about 7 reasons why you should start writing about money. By talking about money, you will be able to control your money. People who avoid talking about money tend to spend a lot of it without even thinking about it. It is important to have control over your finances. This means looking at what you are spending and finding ways to save more money each month. Here are 7 reasons why you should start writing about money now. 1. Money is an evergreen topic. Money is a universal topic that can be written about in many ways. Money is the root of all things, and it's an important part of our lives. Writing about money is a topic that is never out of date and can stay relevant for years to come. Creating content for a long-term business is a necessity. With topics like money, you can never run out of new angles to write about. Even if the content becomes less popular, it stays useful and can be revisited in the future when it's relevant again. Spending money is exciting, but saving money can be tiring. Most content about budgeting includes the idea that it's tedious and difficult to save. Pushing for more time and energy into saving when mainstream media is pushing for spending makes it easy to get discouraged. The most effective way for content creators to tackle the challenge of saving and spending is by having a productive conversation about both problems. This means encouraging people who are already interested in learning more about the problem of saving money and spending it effectively to have that discussion with others who are also interested in learning more. This is the process of building a community around the problem. A community can be built by first providing content that is relevant to the problem, and then discussing the problems with real people who are willing to share their personal experiences, challenges, and progress with other members of the community. For this strategy to be effective, it is important to have sufficient content available. 2. Money is something everyone has an opinion on. Talking about money can be a sensitive subject. People have different opinions on how to spend it, how much to save, and when is the best time to invest. When it comes to finances, we are all at different levels of knowledge. Figuring out how much money you need to live comfortably is one of the most common questions asked by people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. You could write about what the average American or European household spends on housing, transportation, and food each month and ask people to comment to start a conversation with your audience, because money is a touchy subject and everyone has an opinion on where they stand. You can also write and ask people about their thoughts on money. How do they feel about people who make money through their work? I think people should be able to live comfortably without having to make a lot of money. I think that it's my opinion that money is just a tool and not a goal in and of itself. Some people are interested in the quality of life. Some are interested in quantity, and others are interested in both quality and quantity. Writing about money will not go out of fashion because everyone has an opinion on it. 3. Money is a universal topic. Everyone has to deal with money at some point in their life, and it is something that affects everyone in one way or another. There are many different topics and questions that can be discussed, including how it affects our lives, what it means to be rich, and how we spend our hard-earned money. Money is something we use to support our lives. Money can be used for a variety of things, including housing, food, and transportation. How money is distributed and used by an individual might have a lot to do with religion or culture. How does money impact our lives? The topic of money affects every aspect of our life because it allows us to buy what we need. It is essential for survival. Early humans used stones and meat to survive, but as soon as they invented money, the world was a different place. Discussing money is a never-ending topic. 4. Money is an educational topic. Writing about money can help your readers learn how to better manage their finances and get ahead of the game in life. Adequate financial literacy has been linked to lower rates of depression, anxiety, and stressful life events. One way to increase financial literacy is through reading about money. Reading the financial news, books on finance, or personal finance blogs will help readers learn how to better manage their finances and get ahead of the game in life. Many people struggle financially due to the fear of debt, but this fear often holds people back from being able to get ahead in life. One way to combat this is to write about how other people have overcome their debt. This will help readers feel more confident. Adequate financial literacy is a key indicator of future happiness and success. Reading personal finance blogs can help readers learn about this topic. Even though financial literacy can be difficult for many people with low socioeconomic status and limited education because the subject is not typically covered in schools or at home. A lack of education and understanding about what to do when financial disasters hit can lead to poor decision-making. Therefore, more people should be writing about money. 5. People love reading about money. People are always interested in learning more about what they don't know. People like reading about money. People are interested in reading about personal finance topics such as investing, retirement, and insurance. A recent study found that there were 272 million blog posts published on personal finance. The majority of these posts were highly related to retirement. The most popular posts on Sprout are typically related to retirement and cover topics like how to prepare for it, how it will work, and the effects of abrupt retirement. Some of the most popular articles on our blog have been about learning more about personal finance topics, such as how to save money to retire early, how to build a more secure financial future, how to get out of debt and stay out of debt for good, what you can do to prepare for the unexpected. People want to learn all they can about money and how to make and save for the future. So as a content creator, keep creating content around money because people are interested to learn more. 6. Your blog will get more traffic. Building a blog around money-related topics can be a great way to attract a lot of readers. The internet is full of people looking for ways to make and save more money. So writing about these topics will help you get more traffic and make more money as well. Create step-by-step guides when you're creating a blog around money-related topics. It can be helpful to show your readers how they could make money as well. If you are writing about buying stocks and bonds, for example, you could also explain the different types of bonds and stocks available to buy, so that your readers can learn more about these terms. Stocks and bonds are two different types of assets. Stocks are represented by shares of a company's ownership, while bonds are loans that the company issues to investors. Bonds pay out a fixed amount of money each year, but stocks can fluctuate in price based on how the market values it at that moment in time. There's something about making money that makes people feel good, that they have control over their own lives. If you are writing about money, you will attract more audience. 7. You will be seen as an authority in your field. The best way to establish yourself as an authority in your field is to write content with expertise. And what better way to do that than by writing about money? When you write about money, you're taking a position. You're claiming to know something. You're claiming to be an expert. My favorite thing about writing is that I get to take a position, and I love the feeling of being an authority. When you write content with expertise, you naturally become an authority in your field. And there's nothing more powerful than being an authority with a wealth of knowledge about your industry. You might think that your content would need to be high level and deep, but that's not what I mean by writing content with expertise. You can write something as simple as a blog post about how to save money. That's attractive to people. Final thoughts. The reason why you should start writing about money is that it is the most popular topic on the internet. Money is a topic that everyone can relate to, and it has a universal appeal. It is also a topic that people have strong opinions on, and you will never run out of things to talk about. You can write about anything related to money, from personal finance and investing to debt reduction and budgeting. Many people are hesitant to start writing about money, but the benefits are worth it. It will help you establish your expertise in your field of business and give you an edge in the market. It is also a great way to make money online or with affiliate marketing. If you decide that it is not the right time to start writing about money, consider using the time and energy to start writing a blog on your niche. Subscribe to our channel for more video like this one. Comment, like, and share this video so YouTube can show it to more people who are interested in this topic. If you have already done so, thanks. If you like this video, you will also like this one showing on your screen now. My name is Lucia. Thanks for watching and stay creative.
It's about the journey.